Have you always wanted the demon back from Baki? Let's talk about how to get there. I personally think that having a back like the demon back in Baki makes an absolute statement. There's three main components to having the demon back. One, have enough muscle. Two, be lean enough. And three, have the right muscle insertions. So two of these things you can control and one you can't. Let's talk about and break down what each of these things mean. Before we get started, if you are into anime and fitness, or you're into anime and would like to get into fitness, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell to see me break down more anime training and arm you with the tools to reach your own fitness goals. Okay, so first things first, if you want the demon back, you need to build enough muscle. You need an absolute slab of marble on your back if you want to have the demon back. There's 5 main movement patterns you need to train and progress. For each of these movement patterns, you're going to want to progress them through different variations that get harder over time, as well as each week or two, you're going to want to be adding weight, reps, or sets in order to make them harder and to make sure that you are progressively overloading in order to build muscle onto your back. The first movement pattern that you're going to want to progress is going to be a horizontal pull or a rowing pattern. This movement is going to be great for growing the rhomboids, the lats, and all of the muscles of the upper back that are going to allow you to get that demon back look. There's a lot of different rows you can do. Some examples would be a barbell row, a pendlay row, a single arm dumbbell row, or a cable row. There's quite literally unlimited amounts of variations of rows. Pick one that you enjoy and progress it over time. The second movement pattern is going to be a vertical pull. This could be a lat pull down, or a pull up, or a chin up, or any variations of these exercises. I personally really like progressing weighted chin-ups. I find them to be very shoulder friendly and a very good exercise to progress. If you can't perform a bodyweight chin-up or a weighted chin-up, you could use an assisted machine, or you could add a band to your chin-ups in order to help you assist them, and then slowly decrease the amount of assistance you need until you can do a body weight pull-up or chin-up. The third pattern is going to be the hinging pattern, which could be a deadlift, a trap bar deadlift, a straight leg deadlift, or an RDL. These exercises are going to be great for building up the erectors, or the lower part of your back, which is going to make up the lower face part of the demon back. The fourth movement pattern is going to be a straight arm pull down or pull over. This can be performed with a dumbbell or on a cable machine. These exercises work the lats the same as the chin-ups and the lat pull-down, the vertical pulling exercises do, but they put a massive emphasis on loading the most stretched part of the movement, which can be a huge key to muscle growth and developing that width to your back that's going to allow it to have more of that face shape. The final movement pattern you're going to want to train is going to be shrugs. Shrugs are going to help develop the upper part of the face as well as the mid part of the face. You're going to want to shrug in all kinds of directions, from shrugging your shoulders up to shrugging your shoulders back, to even shrugging your shoulders down. You're going to want to load all of these movements. So obviously most people, when they think about shrugs, they think about the traditional shrug where you shrug your shoulders towards your ears. However, on a cable row machine, you could shrug your shoulders back while loading it, and on a lat pull-down machine, you could also shrug your shoulders down while loading it. You could also do this movement body weight by hanging from a chin-up bar and pulling yourself up in a reverse shrugging manner. So, take these movements, progress them, and you will build enough muscle to build your own demon back. The second part of having the demon back is being lean enough. To get lean enough, you're going to want to eat in either a calorie maintenance or a calorie deficit, depending on what your personal situation is. If you're already pretty lean to start off with, you're going to want to eat in a calorie maintenance to emphasize building muscle. You're slowly going to build muscle and lose fat at the same rate while staying the same weight. This is going to mean that you slowly get leaner and you slowly build muscle. This is going to be a lot slower of an approach for both building muscle and getting leaner, but it's going to give you a pretty good point for developing that demon back. If you're lacking muscle and that's your issue, you may need to eat in a calorie surplus for a while and then switch into a deficit or a maintenance. And if you're starting off with a higher body fat percentage and you potentially have enough muscle already, then you're going to want to eat in a calorie deficit so that your body can lose fat at a faster rate. You're also going to lose some muscle, but if you keep the deficit fairly small, you should lose less muscle and retain more muscle. And the harder you train, the more muscle you'll retain and the more fat you'll lose. But if the goal is leaning out, a calorie deficit is probably your best bet in order to do so. If you don't know what a calorie maintenance is for you, I'm going to leave a link to the calorie calculator below. Check that out. Input in your numbers and it'll give you a good starting point for where your maintenance should be. Try eating that number for a few weeks. And if you find that you're losing weight, then you probably need to eat a little bit more to be in a maintenance. If you find that you're gaining weight, you probably need to eat a little bit less in your maintenance. Try subtracting 100, 200 calories from that number, depending on if you need to go up or down, and then try eating in that for a couple weeks until you find what your maintenance is. Then once you know what your maintenance is, you can either eat in your maintenance if that's what you need to do. You can add 500 calories to that, or maybe even 250 calories to that if you need to be in a slight surplus. And if you need to be in a deficit, I recommend subtracting 500 calories from that in order to be in a calorie deficit. You'll also want to emphasize recovery by ensuring that you are eating 0.8 to 1.2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. This is going to be a really important factor in building the muscle if you need to build muscle on your back. This is also going to be a really important factor in retaining your muscle mass if you're trying to cut body weight. My final pro tip is that if you need to lose body fat in order to be lean enough to get the demon back, I suggest you prioritize eating a lot of protein and a lot of vegetables, as they are going to be more filling foods and you're going to feel more full as you try to diet yourself down. Still work in foods you enjoy, but eat slightly more protein and slightly more vegetables than you're used to in order to make things easier on yourself and make sure that you feel more full. The final part of having the demon back is going to be your muscle insertions. Now, muscle insertions is something that you can't really control. You're kind of just born with your insertions being what they're going to be. So not everybody's back is going to look exactly the same with where their muscles kind of lay and how they look. However, that doesn't mean that you can't have a demon back. It just means that your demon back might look slightly different than what's drawn in Baki, or slightly different than my demon back, or slightly different than your friend's demon back. There's plenty of different demons. All kinds of demons have different faces. So if you build enough muscle, you get lean enough, you'll have your version of the demon back, as the muscles do kind of lay in a way where they slightly look like a face. But just know that, especially when it comes to Baki, and it's very overemphasized with how the muscles are shaped in order to look like a demon face, your demon back might not look exactly like that, but that doesn't mean that you can't have your own version of it. So there are some cool things when it comes to the anatomy of the back that do make the back look a little bit like a face. So first of all, your mid-traps and your rhomboid majors are what kind of make up the inner face looking part of the back. So by training lots of rows and lots of mid-trap shrugs. You're going to help develop the inner part of the face. The demon eye is going to be your teres minor. Again, lots of rows is going to help with that. And lots of pull downs, lots of chin ups, lots of kind of basically everything you're doing, you're going to be hitting that teres minor. The upper part of the demon face is going to be made up by your upper traps. So doing lots of heavy shrugs is going to help develop that part of it. And finally, the lower part of the demon face is going to be made up by your latissimus dorsi and your erector spinae, the muscles of your lower back, as well as your lats. So by doing lots of the pullovers, lots of the pull-ups, and lots of the hinging type movements, you're going to help develop that lower part of the face. Thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate you guys taking the time to hear my take on the demon back. I hope you found this helpful with some takeaways that'll allow you to get a demon back of your own. If you want a program designed to help you get a demon back, check the description below and I will leave a link to my Baki-inspired demon back program to take away the guessing so that you know exactly what you need to do to develop a demon back of your own. If you feel you need a little bit more help than that and you need something specifically catered to you, then please follow me on Instagram and shoot me a DM and reach out for coaching, and I would love to work with you. Peace out, guys.